Hello and welcome. My name is Christina from Empowered Creator. I am a mindset and conscious manifesting teacher and coach, and this is my YouTube channel. Here I talk about all things law of assumption, mindset, conscious manifesting, the quantum universe, and a lot more. And my goal is to simplify everything without the fluff. So if you guys like this content and you would like to see more of it, I would love it if you would subscribe to this channel, comment on this video, like it, share it, and stick around. Also, if you need help with your specific situation, I offer one-on-one coaching, email coaching, as well as custom subliminals for whatever needs you may have. I also have a mini course called Telepathically Connect with Your Specific Person. So if you're interested in any of these services, the links are below in the description box. Click on them and they're going to take you to my website. With all that being said, let's dive into today's video. In today's video, I wanted to go a little deeper about how you can transcend your ego and your ego's reactions to the 3D and the circumstances and whatever you might perceive as problems or obstacles about your manifestation, and instead channel your higher self, connect more deeply with your higher self, and start manifesting from that place. So this is what I'll be discussing in today's video. Stay tuned. So I know a lot of you are manifesting whatever desires you're manifesting, one or multiple desires. And I feel the biggest obstacle that most people face when they're trying to manifest whatever it is that they're manifesting is that they feel stuck on circumstances. They might feel stuck on what their current 3D is showing them. And I know a lot of you are reacting to whatever these circumstances are showing, to whatever might be happening in the 3D that you don't like, something that might be not to your preference, something that is not your ideal scenario. Maybe you've been manifesting for a while and then something happens in the 3D that is opposite to what you want and then you fall apart. While all of this is normal from a human perspective, I want you guys to remember that all of this still comes from your ego self and your ego mind. Now, don't feel like you have to let go of your ego. That's essentially impossible. While we're on this earth as human beings, we all have an ego. None of us is egoless. It's not even possible. Not to mention that our ego is actually very useful and very helpful in many cases. For example, in helping us with our survival. Simply put, if we didn't have an ego, we wouldn't have a will to live. So we do need our ego. The point is not to villainize our ego. The point is not to see our ego as the enemy. But at the same time, we need to realize that our ego likes to hold us back. Our ego self likes what's familiar. Our ego self is linked to fear. It's linked to doubt. It's linked to just seeing what the senses show, what the current 3D is showing, what the present reality is showing, and not being able to see beyond, not being able to imagine beyond that onto something better. And the ego self and the ego mind is what presents us with all our fears, all our doubts, all our insecurities, all these little voices in our heads telling us that we're unworthy, that we're not good enough, that our manifestation is impossible, that nothing good can come out of the situation, that our situation is desperate and helpless and it cannot be repaired, that nothing can change, that we cannot hope for something better, that the circumstances have always shown XYZ, so why would we expect anything different? And all these quote-unquote arguments that feel logical when in fact and in reality they're actually originating from fear. And they're originating from our ego's mind fear that something bad might happen to us if we launch ourselves into something unknown. Our ego mind is afraid that if we embrace the unknown, if we follow our dreams, something bad is going to happen to us. We are going to hurt ourselves in some way. So this is our ego's way to try and protect us. But at the same time, what it does tend to do is that it tends to hold us back. And that includes situations that might not be beneficial for us. This can even include situations that might be downright harmful. We might still be afraid and hesitant to move on from them and imagine better for ourselves and aim higher for ourselves. And this is the same ego self and the same ego mind that reacts to whatever situation happens in the 3D that we don't like, that reacts to circumstances, that reacts to the old story, that reacts to things that happen that might feel or be perceived as opposite to what we want and to what we're manifesting. And so while it's normal from a human perspective, at the same time, it's also holding us back and setting us back. It's not allowing us to imagine better for ourselves. It's not allowing us to aim higher for ourselves. And at the end of the day, it's not allowing us to connect on a deeper level with our higher self. And we've said in many videos before that it's actually our higher self that manifests our desires. It's actually our higher self that gives us our desires in the first place because they're meant for us. It's our higher self that knows our true potential and our true inner power. And at the end of the day, it's to our benefit to connect to our higher self, to transcend our ego, to transcend all those reactions to the 3D and all this fear, all this hesitancy, all these insecurities, and all these fake logical arguments that are not even real as to why we cannot have our manifestation, or as to why our manifestation is so hard to obtain, or as to why we're so unworthy, why we're so not good enough, etc., etc. And instead, fuse ourselves, connect ourselves with our higher self. Our higher self who knows our higher truth. Our higher self who knows that anything that might be happening in the 3D that we don't like, that might cause us hurt, pain, which by the way, they all come from the ego as well. But all this hurt and pain are not true. They are not real. Not from the perspective of the higher self. Not from the perspective of our higher truth. Yes, from the human self, they feel horrible. Yes, from the human self, they might hurt us. They might cause us pain. They might cause us anxiety. They might cause us stress. They might cause us doubt and insecurity and fear and all these contracting feelings, let's say. From the point of view of our higher self, who has transcended the ego, who has embraced our inner power, who knows what we're capable of doing, none of that matters. And what's more than that, none of that is even true. As I've said in previous videos before, if it doesn't feel good, that means it's not your truth. That means it's not aligned with your higher truth. And so you can let it go. You want to start transcending your ego self. You want to start transcending your ego mind. And that is a conscious decision to actually shut your eyes and shut your ears to what your senses are showing, to what the 3D is showing, to what your circumstances might be showing right now. And decide to instead connect with your higher self, go within, imagine better for yourself, imagine your ideal reality, your ideal scenario, and dwell in that to the best of your ability, both in the way you think, in the way you feel, in the way you expect, in the way you develop your self-concept, and think and feel and act and manifest from that higher self. Your ego mind is always going to be there. There's always a part of you that is going to have doubts and is going to have insecurities, and that is okay. However, you always have a choice at each given moment to transcend that part of yourself. That is to stay indifferent to it. You can accept that it's there, but you don't have to engage with it. You don't have to identify with it, and you don't have to believe its lies, okay? And instead, you elevate yourself to your higher self. You connect with your higher self. And you start manifesting and imagining and intending and deciding as your higher self, who is all powerful, who is all potent, and who knows that your desire is yours, that your desire belongs to you, that your desire is meant for you, and that there is no reason why you cannot have it. The circumstances mean nothing because the circumstances are of the ego. Once you connect on a deeper level with your higher self, once you truly are living in your state of the wish fulfilled, you're going to notice and realize that those same circumstances don't hold the same weight over you. They don't hold the same power and the same importance over you. As a matter of fact, you are going to see for real and for yourself that they don't matter. No matter what the 3D is showing, no matter what the circumstances are showing, if you're truly living in your end, if you're truly connected with your higher self and with your highest potential, the circumstances, the lowly, human, worldly 3D circumstances do not matter. They are going to not matter to you. You are not going to care about them, literally. Because you're no longer going to identify with them, you're no longer going to believe them, engage with them, dwell in them, and see them as a problem or as an obstacle. It doesn't mean that you ignore their existence or that you deny their existence or that you're lying to yourself. No, but what it does mean is that while you can notice them, you don't give them any importance. You rise above them, you remain indifferent, and you keep focusing on your vision. You keep focusing on what is your highest truth. So this is how you start to transcend your ego. This is how you start to transcend your circumstances and connecting with your higher self and manifesting from that point of view and viewing your manifestations and your desires from that point of view. And this is how you stop dwelling on circumstances, reacting to them, being affected by them, attaching to them at the end of the day. You detach from the circumstances and you attach yourself to your higher self. With all that being said, I'm going to wrap up this video here. I intend that this has helped. As always, I very much appreciate you guys being on this channel, watching this content. I love making this content for you. And as always, I look forward to seeing you all at the next video. Until then, take care and bye-bye.